everyone! In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this cute little meerkat art doll. Every doll starts with an armature and a concept. So here is my little concept I made for this doll. I'm going to use this bonsai wire to shape out the skeleton of the meerkat just by twisting and using pliers to make it nice and sturdy. And I know there's probably a better way that you could do this, but this is just how I've always done it, and it works. While I'm sculpting, I usually have my iPad open on my desk with pictures of whatever animal I'm trying to make, just so I can keep it as accurate as possible. Here I'm just twisting what will be the spine of the meerkat so that it is really sturdy and strong and won't bend too much. Next, I'll make his little arms and legs. The arms will be used from the same piece of bonsai wire that I used to make the spine and tail. So I'll just twist the wire up, then extend it to the other side, do the same thing, and cut it. For the legs, I use a new piece of bonsai wire and slip it through one of the twists at the base of the tail. Then I just wrap the wire around itself to really secure it on. And once I feel it's fully secure, I'll just twist up the legs the same way I did the arms. And there we have our armature, ready to add some polyfill and bulk it up to make the meerkat shape. I've already done the midsection just to show you kind of what we're going for with the polyfill. So I take a little chunk and I'm just going to slide it over the limb and use some thread to secure it on. And repeat for all the limbs. My little supervisor, Macaroni, pops in to check the quality of work we're doing. And now we have our armature ready for fur. For this project, I'm going to be using this fur, which is called Honey Wolf fur. That's the shade. It's faux fur, fully synthetic, and I cut it into a bunch of different sections. I have 4 sections for the arms and legs, 1 long skinny section for the tail, and 1 larger section for the body. Then I just sew each section together, flip it inside out, and then I just go over and trim all the fur. Next, I will fit all the fur pieces onto the armature and sew it all together. Now that the body's finished, I'm going to sculpt the head and the paws for the meerkat. I'm going to use aluminum foil, make a little base structure in the shape of the head, cover it completely in polymer clay, and then I'm going to get to sculpting the face. I pre-sculpted the nose, but I ended up redoing it, which you'll see later. So here I'm just hollowing out little eye sockets. And rolling out some little eyes. Next, I'll use these little snakes of clay to make little eyelids. And then I will refine the nose shape using my favorite little wood tool. Here I'm just gently blending the eyelids. Next, I'm going to make some little ears using cosclay, which is a rubber plastic clay hybrid that once you cure it in the oven, it is still flexible. So it works really well for delicate parts like ears or fingers. And here's the little meerkat face. I'm pretty happy with what we have so far. Next, I will make the paws. So again, I'm using cosclay. I roll out a whole bunch of these little balls that are going to be the toes, and then I'll make one larger ball for the little pad of the foot. And I keep referring back to my reference picture that I drew just to make sure that I get the foot looking exactly how I want it. The left one's a little too long, so I'm just gonna cut that off and smooth the edge out. And next I'm going to add the claws, which are made from these little pre-baked pointy pieces that I've made, and I just mush them on with a piece of cosclay, bake that to secure the toenails, and then I just add more cosclay on top of that so I can sculpt out the toes. Here are the little paws I made, and now we're ready to start painting. So I take out my matte acrylic paints. The brand I use is called Folk Art, and I cover the whole head and paws in a black base coat. The next coat is going to be the coat that goes right underneath the fur, so I want it to be as close as the fur color as possible. The first coat I did here is way too light, so I went in with a much more rich brown color to match the fur. Next, I'm going to paint directly onto the fur, and once this paint dries, I'm going to brush it out. And you can't really tell that it's been painted, like the fur isn't crunchy at all, it's still totally soft. And this is all just to make sure that the head matches the body. Now I want to put all the pieces together. First, I have to sand the base of the neck so that it's not too long. Then I just want to see how it slides into the body. Then I'm going to drill a hole in the bottom of the neck so that we have a way of sliding it onto the armature. And I'm going to secure it with some Gorilla Glue. And now I'll do the same with the feet, or paws. Now I want to add fur to the meerkat's head, so I'm going to use my Fabric Fusion glue and put a thick layer all over where I want to put the first few sections of fur. And I cut out some rows of fur, make sure they're going in the right direction, and then I just layer them on in strips, one over top of the other. Around this stage he starts to look a little bit goofy, but once the fur has dried and you can fully brush it down, it looks way better. For the mouth area, I'm going to use this really fine short fur. And see what I mean about them looking a little bit silly? After I've let that glue dry for 24 hours, I'm going to dry brush some white paint all over the entire meerkat so that the ends of the fur are a bit lighter than the roots. And once that dries, I go back in with some black paint and just go back over anything that got white on it that shouldn't have. Now I'm taking a matte black powder pigment and just dabbing it all around the eyelids. I also put a bit of black pigment and paint on the tip of his tail. And to really bring this little guy to life, I will use my Sculpey Gloss Glaze and put a nice coat all over his eyes and nose. Once I'm done adding the gloss, I'll set him to dry for 24 hours, and here is how he looks. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you did, and leave a comment below letting me know what else you'd like to see me make. Bye!